welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to do something a little bit different. I know I have been gone and MIA for a little bit, especially here on YouTube, because of a lot of shit that's been going on in my life that I really don't feel like boring you with. So instead, we are going to have a story time, one of which that requires a big glass of wine. So get yourself one, sit down, and get ready for a drama-filled story that actually did happen to me. And for those of you who don't know me in my personal life, I am very skeptical of girls in my personal life, and it takes me a long time to kind of bring people into my inner circle, and this is why. I was in high school and I had a best friend, and for the purposes of, you know, making sure that, I'm pretty sure if they saw this, they know who the hell I was talking about. And it's not that I really give a shit, it's just that, you know, we want to be cordial. So we're gonna give him a fake name. So we're gonna call her Heather. Let's do Heather. It's the first name that popped in my head. And for him, we'll call him Robert and Heather. Okay, I don't know where those names came from. So Heather was my best friend in high school. Best friend. I'm talking, we did everything together. We lived around the corner from each other. She was a year older than me, so she had a car. She would drive me to school almost every day and drive me back. So we were besties like this, okay? At the time, I was dating Robert, and Robert was my, I mean, I guess like the way to say it would be high school sweetheart, but we weren't really sweethearts. He kind of sucked, but he was my first relationship, my longest relationship previous to the relationship that I am in now. So anyways, long story short, it was a big deal. He was a big deal to me because he was my first, you know. So we all went to high school together. He and her were in the same grade, and they actually knew each other before she knew me, and that's how I met her, was through him actually. They actually shared like a class together, I think, and he had mentioned her. And so when he mentioned Heather, I was like, who is this Heather bitch? Who is she? And so me being the young, naive person that I was, I had to find out. Well, when I found out, she was actually a really cool person, and we ended up clicking and became better friends than they were. So she was my best friend. She met most of my family. She went to my house all the time, blah, 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 blah. So through the duration of high school, they graduated, and then I was still a senior. And so I was going to high school without them pretty much. It kind of sucked. And I almost said her name. Oh my god, I almost said her name. Heather, she and I were still really close, and of course he and I were still dating. So we were always around each other, having movie nights, having double dates, going bowling. You know, we were them. We were those types of people. So we were all just very close knit. And then the worst thing happened in my world at the time, which was that me and Robert broke up. And it wasn't, at the time, it was a huge deal. Now that I think back about it, I'm just like, whatever. So we broke up. And when I left in a frenzy, right? And I had some stuff that was still at his place. And I did not want to go back there. I did not want to talk to him. I was done. Like, he never, like, I don't even know how to explain this with that. That's for another video, what he did. But I was just done. And in my head, I'm one of those people that when I'm done, I'm done. So I did not want to go back with him and converse with him and see him, like his little shitty face. So I sent her, my best friend, because she knew, you know, where he lived, and they were cordial. They were still friends. And so she was kind of like the middleman. So I sent her there to go get the rest of my stuff, the stuff that I happened to leave there. So she went for me. And then I just kind of like talked to her, and after that, her and his friendship just kind of dwindled because she was my best friend. So she was just kind of like, when she found out what he did, she, to me, in front of me, was like, oh no, I have a problem with that. That's an issue for me. You are my best friend, and that, you know, that's fucked up what he did to you. So I was like, yeah, I know, right? So shortly thereafter, I was like, hold on, let me take a sip. When I left him, I was 18. But I left him like a few months before my 19th birthday. When I turned 19, I went batshit crazy because I had been in a relationship for almost 2 years, and I was that young. And I never had the chance to go crazy and wild and, you know, whatever. So Heather and I kind of teamed up. We were in the same position at the same time. We were both single, which was so much fun. We were going to dorm parties. We were going to college. We were like, you know, doing our thing, right? And I met another guy, and he and I were talking, and I just never really got serious with anybody. And neither did she. And she had a guy that she was talking to off and on, and so we were both like in the same position. She was a person we were every weekend, I shit you not, we were at a club, we were at a party, we were doing something, right? And then it just kind of got to the point where it almost died down a little bit. I had no contact with my ex, Robert. I wanted nothing to do with him. And when I cut everything off, I cut everything off cold turkey. There was no talking about it. There was no, like, anything. There was, like, one time that he tried to contact me, and he called me, but from a different number. So when I answered, I didn't know it was him. When I found out, I hung up, and then I called my brother, and then my other brother called him and threatened him. So anyways, that was like the only time that we had communication. So because of that he was never a topic of conversation for me and Heather, ever, because I just wanted to like forget that he even existed. And so she kind of like remedied that by not talking about him, you know? And then one of my, so we it kind of died down, the excitement of going to all these parties every weekend. And I started focusing on my job. I had just gotten my brand new car by myself. I was super proud of myself. And I just kind of wanted to focus on school and work. And so I didn't really want to go out as much as she wanted to anymore. And the reason why she wanted to is because her guy that was off and on with her, they were actually almost like done at that moment. And so one weekend she was like, I really want to go out. And at the time I lived downtown, like downtown in the heart of downtown Denver. And so there are a bunch of clubs like walking distance. So she had come over to my place and was trying to convince me to go out. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go with you. Well, it's funny because that night that I really didn't feel like going out was the night that I met David. So it was, I mean, she was honestly the person that got me out that night, and she is the reason why I met him, which is so weird how things work and so ironic. So what happened was we went to the club that night. I was not feeling it. I was not feeling good. I wasn't feeling like being there. I seriously went there. I think back and I'm really surprised that they let me in the club that night, because I was literally in skinny black jeans, some like bedazzled flip-flops, and a shirt, like a regular t-shirt, almost like this one, but like it had like graphic writing on it. And then, you know, I made her do my hair because I didn't feel like going. And then, you know, my makeup. That was it. So I didn't feel like being there, and you could tell. So I was having like the worst night ever. There were nothing but douchebags out there, which is pretty usual for a club. And then I happened to meet David in the midst. When she saw David before I did, kind of. She saw him walking over. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, Nikki, no, 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 Nikki, no. And I didn't know what she was talking about until I realized that he was walking towards me. And she did not want me to talk to him. She did not want me to dance with him. She just didn't. And I don't know what about David. She was just like, ugh, no, like, girl, no, don't talk to him. But I thought he was cute, and I was like, you know, I really want to talk to him. So she played my wingman. She ended up dancing with one of David's friends so that I could go and talk to David and figure out what he was about. Of course, you know, as the story goes, David and I ended up talking and exchanging numbers and ended up dating. For the first, like, I want to say month that I was dating David, me and Heather were still best friends. But things kind of started getting weird. And she was acting weird, and she was kind of distant, and she made it abundantly clear to me that she was not happy with the decision that I made by being with David, and I really didn't give a shit. I wanted to live my life, and I didn't want to date around anymore, and I just kind of wanted to chill out, you know, and I found a guy that I really liked. And so I was like really appalled and taken aback, like, why are you acting shitty towards me, and how come you're not happy for me, girl? Like, what is going on? Because girls talk, and when we were in high school, we lived in this neighborhood, and almost everybody lived in that neighborhood. So like all of our friends, right? So me and Heather had a mutual friend. We'll call her Tina. You know who, boo. So Tina had gotten a hold of me, and she had seen me. At the time, I was doing a bunch of stuff. I was modeling, I was going to parties, I was going to school, I was working, so like I was meeting a bunch of people. And Tina got a hold of me to talk to me about some event that was going on, and then it kind of got a little weird while she and I were on the phone, and she was like, hey, how are you doing? Like kind of like probing to see how I was doing, which was really weird because I was doing fan-fucking-tastic. I had a new boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? So I had moved away from the little suburb that we went to when we were in high school. I was downtown, and Heather still lived over there, right? And Robert still lived over there, which I just didn't really care about, whatever. And so Tina kind of like dropped the ball in my court, or like just kind of like spilled the beans on accident. And she was just like, oh, you know, I saw Heather and Robert at a King Supers. And I was like, when? And she was like, oh, maybe like a week ago. And by this time I had been broken up with my ex for like 6 months, maybe even more. No, I was broken up with him for 9, 10, almost a year. So I was like, what the hell was she doing hanging out with my ex-boyfriend? So I didn't really want to like act out because I didn't know what was happening, you know? I didn't want to like speculate, right? Because that was my best friend. Like, she would never hurt me. So I was like, she has a reason. Maybe, you know, they ended up running into each other. Maybe she's trying to not play favorites. Like, maybe she's just having an issue, you know, telling him that she has a problem with what he did to me. Like, whatever. I'll talk to my girl about that. But Tina just kind of seemed really worried about it and was just like, yeah, you know, I saw them there. And she just kind of paused. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. And she was like, yeah. She was like, well, and then I think she kind of started realizing that I had no clue what the hell she was trying to get at. So she just kind of dropped it, and she was like, they were holding hands. And I was like, what? What? And she was like, yeah, like they were like together. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I went to go talk to them, and like they were, you know, just super chit chatty, like nothing was wrong. And she was like, girl, I thought you knew, my bad. So I guess Tina tipped off Heather that she told me. And so after that, Heather was super like hard to get a hold of. I was texting her, I was calling her, and I didn't really give her like any hint that I was upset or that I had some questions for her. I was just like, hey girl, hey, like when are we gonna hang out next? Or, you know, when am I gonna see you on campus or whatever? And she was always like, you know, I'm working, this is happening, like blah, blah, blah. Or she just wouldn't respond to me at all. And then one day I ran into her downtown because where the campus is, it's all in one spot in Denver. And she was like, hey, and she just kind of acted really weird. Little did I know that this was going to be the last time that I ever laid eyes on my best friend, because she was acting really weird, and it turned out that she was dating that other guy that she was like back and forth with in the beginning. She was dating him again, and I hated him. So when I saw him, I was like, okay, I'll leave y'all be. Like, go have fun. And so she was like, yeah, but we definitely need to catch up, right? And then I never heard from her again. Tina and I ended up at the same event. And Tina got drunk. Tina got drunk, and we were both drinking a little bit at this event. And so she just told me everything and was like, you know, what happened was Tina and her boyfriend had been together for, I mean, at least 2 years. And so they had a double date with my best friend and my ex-boyfriend. She went on a double date with them. But during that time, she didn't know that I didn't know that my best friend was dating my ex. And she thought genuinely that I was okay with it. I was like super hurt, and I was like super like, you know, that's your best friend. Somebody that you share your innermost secrets with, like the part of you that you don't show people. She knew that about me, and I knew that about her. And her home was like a second home to me. She was like my sister. So I was like, oh my God, like you, wow. And so yeah, she completely like stopped talking to me. She has me blocked on Facebook to this day. Like I did something to her. And I'm pretty sure that if she ever came across this video that she would probably be mad, but I don't really. Sorry, that's that's not for anybody else out there but her, because that's disgusting. That's gross. Like, gross. It was almost like a blessing that I want to say her name, and I just stop, Nikki. No. It was a blessing in disguise that I had Heather in my life, because it was because of her that I met David. When you say goodbye to one bad person in your life, I have 3 best friends now that are like my sisters. We're like a whole crew, and we all have each other's back. And the good thing is that all of our boyfriends went to high school together. So like, there's like a lot of history there. So, and David and I have been together for, I mean, over 4 years now. So I've known them for that long, and they have the same issue with females. Like, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to this, just having issues with girls because they do shit like that, nasty stuff. And I'm just like, you are a special kind of hoe to do that to your best friend. So that is why I am the way that I am. And when it comes to just meeting girls on the regular, I don't really mind. But as far as bringing them into my inner circle, introducing them to my man or to my personal friends, I mean, I make people go through a lot, and kind of just like, I don't mean to, but it's just, I've been burned, you know what I'm saying, by your own best friend. Like, that hits you in a place that just sucks. So that is the story. That's the Cheesemate for the week. That was my story for you guys. I am so sorry that I have been MIA on YouTube. I'm going to be making more videos, I promise. I just had to deal with a few things first, and I really don't want to bore you guys with the details, but vlogs and tutorials and videos are coming up. So please make sure that you are leaving me any of your requests down below. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I try to keep it real. I try to keep it airy and fun for you guys. So my name is Nikki, by the way, if you guys have never seen any of my videos, and I go by Nikki Glamour here on YouTube. So yeah, I'm trying to expand my horizons and really just kind of like get back into YouTube, because this is the one thing that really I can just let off some steam and just some stress. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed the Cheesemate for the week a little bit, and I will see you guys in my next video that won't be like years out. Did you guys see that stupid wave that I just did? Bye. And leave me some comments down below of what you guys would like to see next. And I think I'm going to keep doing this whole story time thing. I like talking it out. So, and just going back in time is just really funny to see how things worked out. Peace out, and I will see you guys later. Bye. I really need to figure out an outro. Like a fun outro. Maybe you guys should help me with that too. Like, what should my outro be? You know how like Superwoman, if you guys haven't watched Superwoman, you haven't even been living. But Superwoman has that swoop, like that out thing. I can't do it because I have wine in my hand. But she has like this super cool outro, and I really want one. So if you guys have any ideas for that too, let me know. Okay, love you guys. Mwah. Peace.